Dave actually, he said there was a name for this. He said it was spousification. Spousification, when a single mom will essentially create the husband or like take the husband role and force it onto their child.
Correct.
And this happens to dudes all the time who are raised in single mother homes.
Now, don't get me wrong. There are circumstances where that's necessary, but you should not be doing it to one of your children that's younger than 15.
I've seen women who are like freshly divorced, whatever. They don't even have kids or whatever, but either they have like a nephew or a niece, and they just wrap up all of their hopes and whatnot into these kids. And I've heard them talk. It's like, well, you got a date for Valentine's Day this year? Well, no, but my little nephew, he's going to be my date. I'm going to babysit him. I'm like, that's not your date.
Yeah.
You're babysitting him so that somebody else can go out and get some.
But when it's a parent, right? Because you're exposed to your parents way more than
of course. Yeah. But you see it all over in different ways.
You need to be a kid. You need to, fall down, blow shit up, have the cops come to your house, throw snowballs, fight, be a fucking just an asshole as a child up until about 14. Right around 14, when you go to high school, is when you get the big boy slap down for fucking around really, really bad. All right. Right around 15 years old, if your mother's like, hey, I'm going to need you to step up to help around the house, totally acceptable. But you don't fucking stick that on a 5-year-old child. You are fucking that kid up.
By the numbers.
Yeah.
You had something to say, Dave?
Yeah, you got to wait. It's an age appropriate thing, Ed, I was going to say something else. I forgot it, but you can't at 5 years old. That's a breeding ground for anxiety later on, and it's gonna fuck the kid up with any type of like attachment.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it's like you for some reason we want to shelter pain from the youth. It's like you need to let these youth at a young age experience pain so they build resiliency for later when shit is harder. They can comprehend and cope easier, and they also, when you punish them younger, they avoid bigger consequences older. And you can't do that when you're trying to be like, this is my equal to a 5-year-old that you're trying to make, like, in one sense, your kid, but then in the other sense, like, dump all the anxieties that you have of being on your own from your own creations on the 5-year-old.
Oh, amen to that. Yeah, that's very well put. And you see that all the time. Another big problem that we see with the single mamas is that because they have to work and they think they can do it all, they don't want to come home and be the disciplinarian. So on one hand, you've got like the worst of both worlds. They're being forced to grow up too fast in one way, and they're being infantilized endlessly in the other. It creates a bipolar psychological complex.
Well, that's why we have a problem with so many youth out there being, bi-squared. Yeah. They're bipolar and they're bisexual.
L. Snows wants this.
Gonorrhea. No.
I hope he doesn't genuinely want gonorrhea.
No.
That'd be bad.
You don't need that.
That would be bad. All right, are we ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right. He says, where do I begin? Longtime fan, like over a decade. Just recently joined local. Go by Roy G. Bendigov on there. Still haven't gotten to see a supporter stream live, but no biggie. Pop's mom is far more important than a movie. This is one of the more recent ones.
Yeah.
I have so many stories, technically from the trenches of a truly privileged background, navigated by a Narbai Polbagistic single princess of the Roman Catholic persuasion. Virgin all through high school, then about a decade of blurry debauchery. Apparently, I was a Chad. Muscles and looks made up for a height of a mere 5'9", which I think is actually diminished by 2 inches now that I'm in my 50s. 26 and holding. Go fucking figure. I'm 2 years behind Pop, maybe 20 miles away growing up. Almost went into the Air National Guard, encouraged by the gay Catholic priest who became an honorary brother in my fraternity. Oh, that is a big can of worms. It's like you're writing my jokes for me. That's ridiculous. I was that guy, as in don't be. Unguided ballistic missile brought up to make any modern woman a happy house husband. Doomed from day one, but privileged, mind you. White, but not white. Irish Italian, so I hate myself and everybody hates me. Fucking amazing. I never killed myself. But I will say this. If I had known about 22 years ago that I would not have poussé for more than 20 years, I wouldn't have lived to see your show. God has a funny way. At 5 years old, I was the man of the house. No guns. Ma didn't like them. Only recently bought a pellet rifle. Finally, I have a situation where I've been saving up. I can afford a decent pistol, but I'm not sure about an AR-15. Crowder, Steven that is, recommends the Walther, and I found a little starter kit online for like $700, but I haven't bought it yet. That's a hard pass on that one.
You can listen. You can get your bottom barrel AR platforms now for like $399 to $599.
It sounds very reasonable to me.
Yeah, you can find them. They're out there.
Nice. He hasn't bought one yet. That might not even be there anymore. My life story is still weaving itself into a chaotic tapestry. Well, gee, I wonder why. If you were made man of the house at 5,
yeah,
and then of course she sets him up to be the happy house husband. Fraternity with a gay Catholic priest. I'm
a house husband.
Wow.
Yeah, I got that. That is going in the book.
Yep. I broke my heart against so many women under the illusion that my being was sufficient. My mom would always say how good looking I was, but she left out 4 simple words. But looks aren't everything. Yeah. Would have been life-changing if administered during the formative years. Stupid, can't understand normal thinkers. Not quite a parade, but a good handful, mid-70s, early 80s. Not real low-class guys dated my mom during those stages. My mom was a princess, still in her own mind, soon to be a grandma, and me an uncle for my little brother's baby due in February. So she finally got her dream of grandchildren. Sabotaged her whole first family, excommunicating our father with the threat of the rest of your family, she told me herself, I think, which eventually fell away anyway. He died trying to emulate Jesus in a California desert when I was 11. When his sister / my aunt died, my mom withheld informing me until the day after the funeral.
What? That's fucked up.
Well, that is very...
What is the rationalization behind that?
I don't want to get him. See, him hurt his feelings,
Oh, no. You listen, if you got a kid and somebody in the family dies, you got to make sure that kid goes there and experiences the full death procedures.
You got to educate them on loss so that they understand.
Well, there's death procedures. Yeah. And listen, it's better to be exposed to it when you're like maybe 10 to 15 years old than 45 to 55.
Amen to that. Oh man. So where were we?
Sorry.
No, you're good. So that one kind of caught me off guard too. My godfather is her little brother. My godmother is her little sister. Mary Lou was actually at my half-brother's Christmas dinner Friday night along with her son and his fat live-in girlfriend. I thought he would do better, but he's kind of an a-hole too. But his dad is alive. My half-brother's dad is alive. Even one of my cousin's fathers are still there to interact on some level, and they all have girlfriends. Am I jealous? Fuck yeah. Am I angry? You better believe it. So much so, my give-a-fucker is completely overloaded. My damn completely jammed. I know a guy who says he can get me a whole jar of rat's asses literally in about a half a day or so. I could give a shit.
We have to educate him on the exchange rate of give a damns, give shits, and give a fuck.
I'm not sure if we ever went into the exchange rates on the whole jar of rat's asses.
Well, that's actually not in the equation, but it could be added.
Yeah, we could add it in.
Now, on a side note, when I was not getting along with my mother, I bought a rubber rat and I cut it in half and I put the ass, with a gift card in a box and wrapped it up. She opens it up. It's like, see, Mom, I do give a rat's ass. She was so fucking mad. I even know I had $100 gift card in there for food, but
a whole jar of rat's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the exchange rate is for that. Perhaps it does a little bit better in Vietnam, where they
eat rats.
They circulate dongs.
Yeah,
it's currency.
Well, they also eat rats there too.
I got a bucket of dongs and a whole jar of rats' asses. What can I get for that? Awkward handy? All right, I'll take it. I had the idea when I was young that I could find love before I made my fortune. Foolish mortal. I had a paper route at 11 years old, and somehow that convinced my mom that I'd be fine. If I would have, bought a lawnmower and went to just my paper route customers, I could have earned 10 times what I was making delivering the news. I went to Grosse Pointe North High School, 3.9 overall GPA, and I wasn't even trying. Football 2 years, band all 4, then a full ride to Lawrence Institute of Tech for architecture. now called Lawrence Technological University. I wanted to go to U of M because I was dick thinking.
So this guy's in Michigan then.
Yes, he is.
All right.
But my mom's dad's mom, just say your grandma, bro, says I'd only set aside $6,000, presuming that would be plenty for my college education. If she only knew.
Go in the Army.
Yeah. So I had to commute to Southfield. Very first week, a guy from my high school football team put his arm over my shoulders and recruited me into a fraternity, Sigma Phi Epsilon. My nickname was Spaz, unguided ballistic missile, hornier than a 3-ball tomcat, crazier than a rejected Hispanic woman, smarter than the average bear.
Damn.
Learned everything Sig Ep and neglected schoolwork. I lost the scholarship the first year.
That's actually fairly common.
Yeah, you get a little, you're too busy hammering ass or trying to hammer ass.
Well,
Things
what
happen.
you're really doing is you're throwing a flying crossbody cock block on yourself by dick thinking and going balls deep in every warm orifice that you could fucking navigate. You know, that horrible love tunnel of 1,000 stenches.
Too much ass hammering, man.
And stay away from that.
Not good for you. Not good for you in the long run. I'd been accepted to MIT. Holy shit. So he's a 30-pound brain motherfucker in a 20-pound bag.
Yeah.
Fucking MIT.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what the fuck MIT was. I remember the call. I said something about not being able to afford to move to Minnesota. It obviously didn't hit me until much, much later in life that what I actually missed because of that stupid bitch. You see, I'm not an asshole. I know it's hard to tell, but in fact, I'm significantly worse than an asshole because I'm a son of a bitch, straight up. I was born this way, motherfuckers. How the fuck am I supposed to change? I was always trying to be the nice guy, except for when I was being a complete son of a bitch.
I suffered from the same thing. I grew up with a single mother. And I was always so nice to these ladies. And guess what it got me? A whole bunch of fuck all.
Yep. It got you a whole jar of rats' asses.
I didn't even get her one rat's ass. Hell, I didn't even get titties.
You got titties later.
Oh, yeah.
Titties later.
Oh, yeah. When I went in the Army, it was titties galore.
And at least 14 of them belonged to someone named Lisa. So it's all good.
Hey.
Maybe 13. Was one of them the one-tit wonder?
No, I don't remember her name. I'm traumatized.
A broad drops in a titty, hits the floor with it. It kind of pulls your peg D along for the ride.
Yeah, I told that story at my kickboxing class. I had everyone laughing. And I'm like, I'm being totally serious. And then they laugh harder. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you guys are sick.
True stuff is the funniest stuff, and trauma looks good enough.
One tit?
One tit.
One tit.
She had a prosthetic tit, and she never told me until the moment of truth, and then it hit the floor, and I did not handle that well. I'm just going to be honest.
And the nipple was sewn onto her
inside of her leg.
Inside of her leg, yeah. Because they were saving it to do reconstructive surgery.
Yes. Yeah. And
come on, man.
She had a boob job, and one of the boobs got MRSA.
Ooh.
So they went in and scooped it all out, and it looked bad.
Oof.
And they took the nipple off, sewed it on her inside of her thigh, and then she had like this prosthetic. You would figure you would tell somebody, "Hey, look, I'm having a tit situation," because that's how we used to talk about shit in the Army. You know how it is.
Tit situation,
dear Sarge. Somebody's like all fucked up. They got hemorrhoids. You don't want to say that in formation. You're like, "Hey, Private Snuffy's having a butthole situation. He's not going to be here."
I'm having a dick situation, sir.
Oh yeah, but.
I got to get my French tickler scooped off with a melon ball.
I'm having some difficulties in my rectal region today, guys.
Maybe I need to go wash my back pussy in the sink.
But I mean, seriously, that's how we talked about like medical issues. And like if I had a female soldier and she's like, "Hey, Sergeant Pop," I'd stop talking. Go talk to the female NCO. She will relate to me exactly what your situation is, because I have zero fucking love for any of your love box problems.
Love box problem.
All right, move on.
Give it a little push on the belly. There you go.
But yeah,
we've all been there. There's just a little bit left here. He says, one fucking conversation with my dad, one postcard. I've seen one old photograph, bitch destroyed it, ignored, tossed it. I still see, then yet hold to that thread of mercy that demands that I forgive. I die daily, or at least once a week.
Wow.
So I almost always have to watch a replay, but please let me know if you do read these words on the show, whether or not you'd like to hear any more of my not so typical life. Much love in the platonic brotherly sense, you sperm burping cock knob lickers. Very nothing Christmas.
Good burn at the end. I like it. I appreciate that. Yeah, but by all means, send us the stories. We'll get to them.
This is so common.
It is.
I'm sure Dear Sarge has met dudes like this raised by single mamas who wind up going down this exact trajectory.
Yeah, well, I was me.
Yeah.
Like my father left when I was 4. So, you know, I had an older brother in the house and everything got put on him.
Oh,
And then when he left and I was 10, it got put on me.
nice.
Yeah.
So what about you, Sarge? You know anybody like this?
Yeah, a few, not that many, thankfully. And I'm not saying there's anything defective or wrong with the guys that had to live through it. It's just a harder life for them. You know, it's kind of better if you have 2 parents.
Yeah.
It's always better if you have 2 parents.
But, you know, my parents divorced around the time I was 14, and my father was up there in Canada as an illegal alien. That's a whole separate story. But
Whoa.
anyway, you know, these stepfather guys, you know, most of them were fucking dicks. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
even sometimes a fake father might almost be as bad or worse than no fucking father.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, I've known-
especially if there's a never-ending cycle of them coming through your life.
Well, I got a
Yeah.
couple of my friends, you know, when they came back from the army and literally just waylaid their stepfather because they were so fucking mean to him.
Ooh.
They literally like the stepfather goes right back to like when treating the guy like when he was 15, but now he's like 24.
Yeah.
Doesn't
You know
work
what?
too Well.
I think I'm gonna bounce your head off of every post in the carport and before the police come. Yeah, the guy's like, you know, in his mid to late 40s, early 50s. The guy just got out of the military. He's 25. It's a no-brainer. The cops coming. I can get some more in before.
Yeah. Now I actually lucked out because I had my own daughter from the first marriage, and then I ended up with 2 stepkids, and they were like 16 and 18 by the time I came in the picture.
Okay.
And we actually got along good, so I didn't have
Good,
any kind of bullshit drama like that.
Well, good. Well,
That's rare.
there's a lot of guys out there that, you know, they take the role of stepfather, but they never really wanted to be the stepfather.
Or they're never permitted.
Yeah,
to be
that's
the
another
stepfather.
frustration.
That's another issue, right?
That's a whole other issue.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.